What you're going to do in this next part of the animation is to create the background. Now, I've already deleted everything here. I've trashed on my layers so that I've got a blank canvas. I've got all of my movie clips in the library here. So what we're going to do is first we've got to set the size. So the correct size is if you use the pointer, click on the background somewhere, and then go to the size here. The width here is going to be 1700. The height is going to be 2000, which I know seems gigantic. So we're going to zoom that out to 50%. So we get this fairly large space to work with. Now, the Pac-Man and ghosts are all of a size of 100 pixels by 100, give or take. So what we're going to do here is we're going to change the grid. So if you go to View, Grid, we're going to edit it, and we're going to switch this to 100 by 100 pixels. So we'll get a really nice space that we can draw in for our project. So what we're going to do is set up the sections around where he will be eating pellets is to use the rectangle tool. Now I've got some things set up already. What we're going to do is we're going to give it a fill color of black, and make sure that the stroke is turned off, and you're going to see why shortly. And we want rounded rectangles for all the maze pieces, so switch the roundedness to 20. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a series of line segments that we will combine in different ways to make the maze pieces. So what we need is we need a little bit that is 2 spaces wide. Then we will need one that is 3. We will need one that is 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we'll need one that is 6. 6, there we go. Now we'll try and make sure that these are all about the same size. So I'll pick the one whose width I like the most, so it's this first one. So if I look for the height, it's at 46. Now I prefer to have things at digits of 5, so I'm going to switch the height of that to 45, and then I'm going to do that to all of my other line segments, just so that they can look a little bit closer to each other. There we go. So now all of those have a width of 45. So what we're going to do with this, we're going to use these in different combinations to make the segments that we'll need for the project. So the first one that we need, I'm going to copy and paste this one, is an actual segment that is 2 pieces long. The next one that we'll need is one that is 3 pieces long. So we're just going to copy those over here. These will be the first 2 maze pieces that we have. The next thing we need is an L-shaped piece. So I'm going to copy and paste this. So I'll line it up there. And then the vertical part is 3 spaces long. So I'm going to copy and paste. I'm going to transform it, rotate 90 clockwise so it's standing up and down. And then I'm going to try and line it up using the arrow so that it kind of fits in the corner of the previous piece. Now you'll notice if you have your object drawing turned off that it should combine with the piece, and then I can move this around as much as I want. The next thing that we need is a T-shaped piece, which starts with this. So I'm going to copy and paste. Put that here. And then it has a 3 segment leading off of it. So I'm going to copy and paste. I'm going to turn that horizontal, vertical. And we'll slide that in the middle here and try and line it up as best as I can. You can see this is where the grid is really useful. Make sure that it's combined. before moving on to the next one. And then we need a slightly larger T piece. So we'll move this here. We'll take the 3 piece here. And this one is not in the center. Obviously, there's no center to something that is this size. So I'm going to flip it, and then it will be placed right here. So kind of in the third segment. And so it's like a version of this that's just sort of extended a little bit more. A couple other things that we need here. There is a 4 space rectangle that we're going to, or sorry, I guess this is a square. So we need to create that. And then we're going to make a longer version of it. And I'll make sure that the height is the same. So again, I like to make this easy to remember number. So I'm going to pick 130. And because this one's supposed to be a square, I'll just match them up. And then for this one, I'll give it the height of 130. There we go. So I've got those two ready to go. And then the last piece that I need to put together is the ghost home, which is a combination of a couple of these. So I'm going to put this up here. And then I need a vertical 3 piece. Transform. And I know I need 2 of these, so I'm going to copy and paste. That way I don't have to do the rotation again. So I'll move this up to the edge. The bottom of this is going to be 5 long, so we can take this. We can put this in. And then we need our 2 piece at the top. Okay. So it has that, and then there's this little sort of red line that extends between them. I'm going to pick maybe like a bright orange, and I'll leave the stroke size as 8. Then I'll just sort of toss that in between here. There we go. Okay, so I'll zoom out even further. I've got all the pieces that I'll need to do this animation. So now I just need to convert them to the symbols that I'm going to use. So I'll zoom back into 50. Just one final touch. You're going to switch to the ink bottle tool. Pick a dark blue, but something that'll still show up on black, and give it a stroke size of 8. And then you're just going to click on all of these, and it should give you the appropriate highlight that we'll need for the project. So click on the first one. We need to select the whole object, so modify, convert to symbol. And this one will be a graphic symbol because it won't need to be animated. So this one will be maze. And then I'll give some description here. So I'm going to put the number 2 because it's just a straight 2 piece. Then I'm going to select this next one, modify, convert to symbol, maze. This is my 3 piece. This is my L shape. So I'm going to convert to symbol, maze underscore L. Oh, do a capital L there. This one here is my regular T. So I'm going to convert it to a symbol, maze T. Okay. This other one is kind of a T, but it's stretched. So I'm going to convert to symbol, maze T stretch. This is my square, so I'll go to modify, convert to symbol, maze square. This one is my rectangle. Modify convert to symbol. This one will be maze rectangle. And then this is the ghost home, so I'm going to go to modify, convert to symbol, and I'll call this one maze home. Okay, so now all of these have been created and they're ready for me to use. So I can actually delete everything that is on the stage. I just select frame 1 and wipe everything out. So if I look in the library, I should have all of these shapes ready to use. So I want to organize the library a little bit. So I'm going to add a few folders. This one will be ghosts. So in this one, put all of the ghost graphics, including the eyes, into the ghosts folder. Okay. Which is most of what we've created. So we'll leave those in the ghost folder. We'll make another folder and we'll call it maze. And you can put all of your maze pieces into this folder. I'm just going to put a capital on here to stay consistent. And then these other ones we can just sort of have loose. It's just a way to categorize what we're working on. So now we can actually put together the maze for this project. So we're going to use all the maze pieces for it. So I'll show you how to do this, and then I'll put together the whole maze so that you can see it, and then we'll do some finishing touches. So basically we're going to use this here. There will be another rectangle next to it, but we need this channel here, and that is going to be large enough for Pac-Man to fit through. With some of these pieces, we'll need to include them and then do a rotate. So modify, transform, rotate, and this one shows up here. There's a maze 2 piece that shows up here. So I'll finish the rest of the maze and then show you what the finished product looks like, and then you can copy the remainder of these steps. So this is what you should have created when you're finished. You're going to try and match this design. So look at how things are laid out within the blocked areas. And now we just need to do the border around the edge of the stage, and then we can start doing the animation. So I'm going to zoom back in to 50%. Just so that I can see the edges adequately. And then for this, what we're going to do is I'm going to drop a maze piece up here. I'm going to rotate it. And because these will act like vector drawings, I can extend this as well to make it a little bit longer. So I'm going to use the free transform tool. Pull the edge. You'll notice that it will change the width of the border, but we're not going to care about that too much. I'm just going to slide it up here. So this is just sort of the piece that hangs off of the top, and we need to do a few more tiny bits like this. I'll create one here. This should hang off the edge. Same thing on the other side. And then we need a couple big blocks that are going to fill in this area here. The way we're going to create them is just to use the rectangle that we've got created, and then I just need it to fill this space here. So we've got this. You can use the arrows to adjust where it shows up. And I'm going to copy and paste a few more copies of these. So this will give the exit area on this side. I'm going to copy both of those and then put them as well on the other side, just so I can kind of match things up. Now we're going to put, using the line tool, a border around this. So pick the line tool, choose a stroke color of blue, and a stroke size of about 10. And then what we're going to do with this is we're just going to trace around the edge. So just inside the border, and it should automatically want to do a straight line. So that makes it a lot easier when we're putting this in. So you should just very easily be able to go around the outside. And you don't want to leave space between the border and the outside line. So here you can see I've got a little bit of a snapping issue, but I'm just going to leave it as it is. And you don't need to worry too much if you're going outside a little bit, because that's not going to show up. I'll go up. And, oh, I just realized that I made a mistake here. So you don't want to include this line because that is one of the exits. So we're going to change the stage color to black so that we can get kind of the overall shape for this. You're going to go to your library, and we'll put a few objects on here. So first, we'll call layer 1 background. Layer 2 will be pellets. And on this one, for the power pellet, we're going to put 4 of them on the screen, and they're going to go in to these spaces. So 1, 2, and then the ones on the top of the screen are behind the squares. So you can line those up. And then if you wanted to test your movie, now it'll probably be unbelievably huge, but you should see flashing pellets there. Okay. The next thing, we're going to just put a regular pellet in between, in the middle of all of these squares. So for that, you just need to make an oval, and then white interior. You can remove the stroke. You want to make sure that they are smaller than the power pellet. So I'm just going to do a small one. I know that they'll appear a lot more spaced out than they do in the real game, but this is just sort of an approximation. So what you're going to do, it helps to maybe zoom this into a regular size. You're just going to copy and paste and put one in the middle of all of these sections here. So copy paste, and once you've got several of them put in order, you can copy more than one at a time. So copy, paste, I can drag these over here and they should just line up in the middle. So cover all the empty spaces with this, and then we should be ready to do the animation. So just officially, this is what you should have before moving on to the next tutorial. You should have a white dot in each space on the stage. The areas that are not covered are inside the ghost home, around the ghost home, as well as the little corner pieces, the spot on which Pac-Man begins, as well the 2 exits that will let him go from one side of the stage to the other.